Hello. PlutoGrid is a data grid as a Flutter package. This is a package that makes it easy to edit large amounts of data with the keyboard. You can also edit text by entering the text directly or by pressing the Enter key to put the cell into edit state. When editing is complete, press the Enter key or move the currently focused cell with the arrow keys to save the cell value. Also, if you press the ESC key during editing, it returns to the value before editing. You can edit numbers or letters, or select an item with the keyboard in the Select pop-up to select one of several items. Date and time selection is also possible via keyboard in the pop-up. The time selection pop-up is a pop-up using the Pluto dual grid that we will show you at the end of the video. You can use the two grids by splitting them left and right. Left and right movement between the two grids is possible with the keyboard. The column position of PlutoGrid can be moved by dragging it. If you drag the column to be moved and drop it onto the column where you want to move it, the position of the column is moved. The background color of the column to be moved is changed so that you can visually check where it will be moved. You can also change the sort status by tapping on a column. In the menu that appears by tapping the icon on the right side of the column, you can freeze the column to the left or right. If a column is moved to a freezed column position, the column to be moved is also changed to a freezed column. If you move the freezed column back to the non-freezed column position, the freezed column is released again. PlutoGrid can automatically change the column width to fit the entire grid width. There are two options to automatically change the width. The first is that all columns have the same width. The second is to change it to fit the entire grid width while maintaining the ratio of the current column width. To change the width of a column, there is a push and pull option that allows you to change the width of the column you want to change while maintaining the overall width. Another option is the normal option, which only changes the width of the current column regardless of the total width. The normal option doesn't take the total width into account, so scrolling left and right may be added. The following is a function to hide the column area. Currently, the menu bar area located at the top is added for the demonstration video. Excluding this area, PlutoGrid can display only rows and cells except for columns. You can also show or hide the column filter area for filtering. The column filtering area can filter the list of cells in the corresponding column. Built-in filtering, you can change the filtering condition with various conditions. You can also set your own filtering conditions. Filtering of multiple columns can also be set as composite. There is also a filtering pop-up where you can collect the filtering settings of the entire column. This filtering pop-up is implemented with the PlutoGrid pop-up widget. All keyboard, etc. behavior of PlutoGrid is the same. Here are the settings for the language. You can change the characters used in PlutoGrid to the desired language. If it is not included in the built-in language, you can also change it manually. These languages are contributed by PlutoGrid users from various countries: China, Russia, Czech Republic, Brazil, Portugal, Spain, Persia, United Arab Emirates. If your language is not listed here, you can contribute by visiting Github. Here is the text direction. You can change the UI and keyboard behavior of the grid through RTL options. Just wrap the PlutoGrid with a directionality widget. In this case, don't forget to set text direction to RTL. Here is the row or cell selection mode. You can select a row or cell by moving the mouse with a long tap. Also, in row selection mode, you can move selected rows by dragging them. You can also select or deselect rows by pressing the Control key and mouse tap. You can also move the randomly selected rows in the same way. Only rows 1, 3, and 5 are selected and moved. Selecting cells is the same as selecting rows by holding down the mouse and moving it. Alternatively, it can be selected using a combination of keyboard Shift and arrow keys. Full selection is possible with a combination of Control and a key. Of course, this is also possible programmatically. This screen is a demo screen where you can check the function of PlutoGrid and sample code. A demo site is provided so that you can test directly with the web version. Here is the Pluto Dual Grid. Dual Grid allows you to freely move the keyboard between the two grids by arranging them left and right. It is the same PlutoGrid except for placing the two left and right. One difference is that you can change the width of the two grids by dragging the divider between them. Of course, you also have the option to remove the divider if you don't need this. The function this time is PlutoGrid Pop-up, which can use PlutoGrid in the form of a pop-up. By calling PlutoGrid in the same way, the value of a specific cell can be passed to the text field and entered. Of course, all functions of PlutoGrid and keyboard operation are the same at this time as well. Next is listing mode. This is a method that provides a separate editing screen while using PlutoGrid only for list output. You can move the focus of the current row or cell with the keyboard, but you can restrict actions such as editing. When the user presses the Enter key or taps on a row, you can call up a separate screen where you can make your edits. Finally, I introduce dark mode. In this mode, the color set is changed to match the dark mode. It is a default setting, so you can set all the colors at once without having to change them one by one. Of course, you can also create a nice grid with your own desired color set.
With this, I have introduced all the features that will be introduced in this video. PlutoGrid is open source and is used by many countries and many users. It also has a huge advantage because it works on all platforms Flutter supports. This project started 2 years ago at the time of posting this video. I felt the charm of Flutter and developed it as a hobby until now. If you are interested in this project, please like, subscribe, star on Github, and donate. Thank you.